Have you ever found yourself waking up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering why you just can't get a good night's rest anymore? It's a quiet frustration many of us face as we get older, feeling tired during the day but restless when it's time to sleep. You might think this is just part of aging, something you have to accept. But what if I told you that the number of hours you sleep isn't the whole story? It's not just about how long you sleep, but how well you sleep that truly matters. This small but often overlooked detail can have a huge impact on your health and even how long you live. In today's video, I'm going to share the surprising truth about sleep after 70 and reveal simple habits that can help you rest better and live stronger. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. It often begins in the quietest hours of the night. You may find yourself lying in bed, the world outside peaceful and still, while your mind is anything but. The clock ticks softly on your nightstand. You shift your pillow, glance at the faint glow from the hallway, and realize, for what feels like the 100th time this month, you're wide awake at 3 in the morning. Maybe you fell asleep easily enough, but staying asleep has become the real challenge. Perhaps you drift off for an hour or two, only to wake up again and again, until finally, the sun peeks through your curtains and the day has already begun, leaving you tired before breakfast even starts. If this sounds familiar, you're far from alone. For so many older adults, sleep is no longer the reliable companion it once was. It's easy to remember those days, years ago, when sleep came naturally. You could lie down and wake up refreshed, with no thought given to how many hours had passed. But now, in this chapter of life, sleep feels fragile, light, easily broken, almost as if it's lost its way back to you. This is a story shared by millions across America. Recent research shows that more than half of people over the age of 70 struggle with some form of insomnia. That doesn't always mean full-blown sleepless nights. Sometimes it's just tossing and turning. Sometimes it's waking up every couple of hours, or finding yourself up for good at 4:30 in the morning, long before the rest of the world stirs. The kind of deep, restorative sleep that once felt effortless seems to slip further away with each passing year. But here's something that isn't often talked about. Many seniors accept these changes as just how it is. It's easy to shrug and think, well, I'm getting older. Of course, I won't sleep like I used to. Maybe your parents, decades ago, said the same thing. But does it have to be that way? Is restless, broken sleep an unavoidable part of aging, or could there be something more going on beneath the surface? Let's pause for a moment and challenge that assumption. What if poor sleep in our later years isn't something we simply have to put up with? What if there are real, understandable reasons for these changes, and even ways to improve them? Ways that don't require turning your world upside down or resorting to a cabinet full of pills. This isn't about chasing the sleep of your 20s. It's about reclaiming rest so you can feel energized and alive today. To truly understand why sleep changes as we age, it helps to know a little about what's happening inside our bodies and minds. The science, thankfully, is both fascinating and surprisingly accessible. As we grow older, our sleep cycles, what scientists call sleep architecture, change. The body spends less time in deep, restorative stages of sleep, called slow-wave sleep, and more time in lighter stages where waking up is easier. This shift isn't just a random quirk of getting older. It happens for several reasons, and most have to do with how our bodies change over time. First, the body produces less melatonin, the hormone that helps signal to your brain that it's time to sleep. The pineal gland, which creates melatonin, simply slows down as we age. With less melatonin circulating at night, falling asleep and staying asleep can be harder. On top of that, changes in other hormones, like cortisol and growth hormone, can also disrupt the natural rhythm that used to carry you effortlessly through the night. Health issues common in later life can play a big role, too. Conditions like arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, and even frequent trips to the bathroom can disrupt sleep, turning a restful night into a string of interruptions. Certain medications, especially those for blood pressure, pain, or heart problems, sometimes have side effects that make sleep elusive. Even seemingly small habits, like drinking more fluids in the evening or not getting enough daylight, can add up to big changes in sleep patterns. Beyond the physical, there's the emotional and social side of sleep. Retirement brings freedom, but it also brings a shift in routine. Without the daily structure of work, it's easy for bedtime and wake-up time to drift. For some, feelings of loneliness or anxiety, whether brought on by health worries, missing a loved one, or simply adjusting to quieter days, can quietly steal away restful sleep. The silence of night is often when worries grow loudest. These nights, spent in and out of sleep, carry consequences that go beyond just feeling tired. Lack of sleep can leave you feeling more irritable, less patient, and even a little foggy. You may find it harder to remember names, appointments, or where you left your keys. Mornings might start with aches and a heaviness that's hard to shake. Simple pleasures, like walking with friends, gardening, or enjoying a favorite book, might not feel as inviting when you're running on empty. But the impact doesn't stop there. Over time, poor sleep can chip away at your physical and social life. Maybe you find yourself declining invitations because you're just too tired, or skipping exercise because your energy never seems to come back. You might start to worry, is it safe to drive when I feel this groggy? Or am I just not myself anymore? The frustration and self-doubt can quietly grow, and it's all too easy to feel isolated as if you're the only one wrestling with these nights. Here's the truth. You are ABT alone. Sleep challenges after 70 are incredibly common. Every senior group, church meeting, or community center across the country has its share of stories about counting sheep, midnight snacks, or just one more cup of tea before bed. But while this shared struggle is real, it doesn't mean you're powerless. Now, before you start worrying that the solution is complicated or out of reach, let's explore some gentle, practical ways you can start improving your sleep tonight, no matter your age, schedule, or health. First, consider the rhythm of your day. Our bodies thrive on routine, even after retirement. Try going to bed and waking up at the same time each day, even on weekends. This simple consistency helps train your internal clock, making it easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Many seniors find that a relaxing pre-bedtime ritual, a warm bath, gentle stretching, or a few pages of a favorite book, signals to the brain that it's time to wind down. Keep an eye on your bedroom environment. Is your room too bright, too noisy, or too warm? Even minor adjustments can make a big difference. Blackout curtains, a comfortable pillow, and a fan for gentle white noise can turn your bedroom into a restful retreat. Keep your TV and phone out of reach when you're in bed. While it's tempting to scroll or channel surf to distract from wakefulness, blue light from screens tells your brain to stay awake, not sleep. Pay attention to what you eat and drink. Caffeine in coffee, tea, or even chocolate can linger in your system longer than you think, sometimes up to 8 hours. Try limiting caffeine to the morning hours. Likewise, while a nightcap might feel relaxing, alcohol disrupts the deep sleep your body craves. And of course, drinking a lot of fluids late in the day increases those nighttime bathroom trips. Light exercise during the day, like walking, gentle yoga, or swimming, can help you sleep more soundly. But avoid vigorous activity right before bed. Instead, use the evenings to wind down. Getting some sunlight each morning, even just a few minutes on your porch or by a sunny window, can help reset your body's sleep-wake rhythm, making it easier to feel sleepy at night and alert in the morning. Sometimes, sleep problems are linked to underlying health issues or medications. If you're doing everything right, but still struggling, don't hesitate to talk with your doctor. There may be simple changes, like adjusting medication timing, checking for sleep apnea, or addressing anxiety or depression, that can make a big difference. Your healthcare provider is there to help you find solutions that fit your life, not just your prescriptions. To show that real change is possible, let me share the story of Mr. John Patterson, a retired firefighter from Ohio. John had always been a sound sleeper until his 70s. Suddenly, he started waking up 3, even 4 times a night. He felt sluggish during the day and stopped going to his weekly card games because he just didn't have the energy. Instead of giving up, John decided to make a few small changes. He set a regular bedtime, cut back on late-night coffee, and started walking in the park every morning. Within weeks, John noticed he was sleeping longer and deeper, waking up refreshed and ready to enjoy life again. He even brought back his Saturday morning fishing trips, a joy he thought he'd lost for good. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. John's story is a reminder that you don't have to settle for restless nights and tired days. Small changes, taken one at a time, can add up to a brighter, more energetic tomorrow. So if you find yourself counting the hours until dawn or feeling like sleep is just out of reach, remember, this is a challenge you share with millions of others, but it doesn't define you. With a little patience and a few gentle adjustments, restful nights can become your new normal again. You deserve to greet each day with energy and hope, ready for whatever joys it may bring. Don't give up on sleep. It hasn't given up on you. Every night offers a fresh chance for rest, healing, and a new beginning. Tonight could be the start of something better. Have you ever wondered whether you still need a full 8 hours of sleep each night, like you were told in your younger years? It's a question that lingers in the back of many people's minds as they grow older. After all, for decades, we've heard that 8 hours is the magic number. You might even remember telling your children or grandchildren to get their full 8 hours so they'd wake up ready to take on the world. But as time passes, and your nights become a patchwork of sleep and waking, it's only natural to wonder, does that rule still apply after 70? Let's challenge this familiar assumption together. What if the real answer is a little more flexible, and a whole lot more forgiving? What if, instead of rigidly chasing an exact number, you started to pay attention to how sleep makes you feel, and what your own body is quietly asking for each night? Science is giving us new clues about what older adults truly need, and the news is both reassuring and empowering. Here's what researchers have found. As we age, the ideal amount of sleep can change, just like so many other things in life. While many adults in their 20s or 30s may thrive on a solid 8 hours a night, seniors, especially those over 70, tend to need a bit less. Most experts agree that 7 to 8 hours is a healthy target for older adults, but there's a catch. It doesn't always have to happen in one uninterrupted stretch. This is something most people aren't told. It's perfectly normal for seniors to wake up once or twice during the night. Maybe it's for a bathroom trip, maybe because of a bit of discomfort, or just because your sleep naturally becomes lighter with age. That doesn't mean your body is failing you or that you're doing sleep wrong. It just means your rhythms are changing. What truly matters is not just the number of hours you spend in bed, but the quality of the sleep you get while you're there. Deep, restorative sleep, what doctors call slow-wave sleep, is like gold for the aging brain and body. This stage of sleep is when your muscles repair, your immune system strengthens, and your mind quietly organizes memories from the day. Even if the total number of hours is a little less than you remember from decades ago, getting enough of this deep sleep is what keeps you healthy and vibrant. Of course, every person is unique. Some people feel their best on the lower end of the range, with about 7 hours each night, while others might need closer to 8. What's important is to pay attention to how you feel during the day. Do you wake up refreshed and able to enjoy your morning coffee? Or do you drag through the day, yawning and longing for a nap? These little signals are often the best clue to whether you're getting enough rest. Speaking of naps, let's talk about another common question. Is it okay to nap during the day? For many seniors, a short nap, say 20 to 30 minutes after lunch, can be a wonderful way to recharge. Science supports this, too. Short naps have been shown to improve alertness, mood, and even memory in older adults. But there's a gentle warning here. If naps stretch too long, especially over an hour, they can make it harder to fall asleep at night, throwing off your natural rhythms. The key is moderation. A brief cat nap can be your friend, while long daytime sleep can become an enemy to your nighttime rest. You might be wondering, what happens if I sleep much less or much more than this recommended range? The answer, according to many studies, is worth paying attention to. Consistently sleeping less than 6 hours a night can put you at greater risk for a variety of health issues, from weakened immunity to memory problems, even increasing your chances of falls or accidents. But it might surprise you that regularly sleeping more than 9 hours can also be linked to poorer health and a shorter lifespan. Sometimes, excessive sleep in older adults is a sign of underlying conditions that deserve attention, like depression, low thyroid, or even undiagnosed heart issues. That's why it's so important not to compare your sleep to a one-size-fits-all rule, or to judge yourself against younger years or other people's routines. Sleep needs, just like appetite or energy, are deeply personal and can even change from month to month. What matters most is listening to your own body and treating sleep as a vital form of self-care, not just another number to chase. To make this even clearer, let me share a simple illustration. Imagine your best friend from childhood, who now lives across the country, calls you every week. Some weeks the conversation is an hour long, other times it's just a quick check-in, but what matters is the quality of that connection, not the clock. Sleep works much the same way. Whether it's 7 hours or 8, what truly matters is whether you feel restored and ready for the day when you wake up. If you're struggling to find your ideal rhythm, consider keeping a simple sleep diary for a week. Jot down when you go to bed, how many times you wake up, and how you feel each morning. You might be surprised to see patterns: a late-night snack, an afternoon nap, or a particularly stressful day that influence your rest more than you thought. This small act of attention is a powerful first step toward better sleep and, in turn, better health. One story comes to mind that might feel familiar to many. Mary, a retired schoolteacher from Minnesota, spent years believing she had to stay in bed for a full 8 hours every night, just as she had in her working life. But after turning 72, her sleep became more fragmented. She started feeling guilty, convinced she was failing at sleep, and worried she was harming her health. Finally, her doctor gently explained the science, that as we age, 7 to 8 hours is perfectly healthy, and that waking up a couple times in the night is normal. With this new understanding, Mary stopped stressing about the clock and focused on creating a cozy bedtime routine instead. Soon, she found herself waking up with more energy, and the old sense of guilt melted away. So, what can you take away from all of this? The truth is, there's no need to lie awake at night worrying about hitting an exact number. Aim for 7 to 8 hours, yes, but more importantly, pay attention to how you feel. Remember, short naps are fine, but don't overdo it. If you find yourself sleeping far less than 6 hours or more than 9, talk to your doctor. Sometimes that's your body's way of signaling for help. Rest is one of the kindest gifts you can give yourself at any age. It's not about perfection or returning to your 20s. It's about feeling restored, able to enjoy your days, connect with loved ones, and savor all the simple pleasures this season of life has to offer. You deserve to wake up ready for whatever the day brings, with energy, curiosity, and hope. Never forget that sleep is personal, and you are the world's best expert on your own needs. Permit yourself to adjust, to listen, and to cherish each night as a chance to begin again. The right amount of sleep for you is the one that lets you feel like your best self, no matter what the clock says. And remember, you are not alone. Across America, countless others are on the same nightly journey, learning, adjusting, and finding what truly works for them. In this chapter of life, let sleep become not a worry or a battleground, but a gentle invitation to rest, heal, and live fully, one peaceful night at a time. It's easy to think of sleep as just another part of the daily routine, a box to check between sundown and sunrise, nothing more than the background to the real events of life. But as the years pass, We often come to realize that sleep is much more than an afterthought. It is, in many ways, the foundation on which our health, happiness, and even our very longevity quietly rest. You might have noticed that after a good night's sleep, the world simply feels different. Maybe your joints ache a little less, your mind feels clearer, and that sense of heaviness that sometimes lingers in your chest seems to have melted away. There's a reason for that, and it's not just in your imagination. Science has shown, time and again, that sleep is one of the most powerful healers available to us, no matter our age, but especially as we grow older. Let's start with the immune system, the body's natural defense team. Each night, while you sleep, your immune system goes to work, repairing cells, releasing proteins called cytokines that help fight infection and inflammation, and fine-tuning your body's readiness to fend off whatever tomorrow may bring. Seniors who regularly get enough restful sleep are less likely to catch the flu or come down with other common illnesses. And when they do, they often recover faster. In a world where viruses and infections seem to be everywhere, the importance of this nightly tune-up can't be overstated. But the benefits don't stop there. Your heart, that hard-working muscle beating more than 100,000 times a day, also depends on sleep to keep ticking smoothly. During the deeper stages of sleep, your heart rate and blood pressure drop, giving your cardiovascular system a well-deserved break. Chronic sleep deprivation, on the other hand, has been linked to high blood pressure, irregular heartbeat, and an increased risk of heart attacks and strokes. It's not just numbers on a doctor's chart. This is about years added to your life, and life added to your years. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Then there's blood sugar. Getting enough sleep helps your body regulate insulin, the hormone that manages blood sugar levels. When sleep is short or fragmented, blood sugar can swing higher than normal, raising the risk of developing type 2 diabetes or making it harder to manage if you already have it. For older adults, who may be more sensitive to changes in blood sugar, those extra hours of rest are a real gift. Sleep is also a powerful ally for your mind. Think about the days when you're well rested, how much easier it is to remember a neighbor's name, follow a story on TV, or learn something new. During sleep, your brain processes memories, solves problems, and even clears away proteins that are linked to cognitive decline and diseases like Alzheimer's. Ongoing research is showing that seniors who consistently get good quality sleep are less likely to experience memory loss or develop dementia as they age. Emotional health is deeply tied to sleep as well. Poor sleep can make anyone feel irritable, anxious, or blue. Over time, sleepless nights can feed into feelings of depression and isolation, making life feel smaller and more difficult than it needs to be. On the other hand, waking up after a solid night's rest can bring a sense of optimism and resilience, helping you face each day with hope and courage. It's not just what happens inside, either. One of the lesser discussed dangers of sleep loss for seniors is the increased risk of falls. When you don't sleep enough, your reflexes slow, your balance becomes unsteady, and your ability to react quickly, whether stepping off a curb or reaching for something in the kitchen, isn't as sharp as it should be. For older adults, a single fall can have life-altering consequences, from broken bones to lost independence. Protecting your sleep is, quite literally, a way to protect your freedom and your future. Weight, too, is linked to how well you sleep. Studies have found that people who consistently get enough sleep are better able to manage their weight, while those who don't may feel hungrier, crave unhealthy foods, and gain weight more easily. Sleep helps regulate hormones that control appetite, making it easier to stick to healthy eating habits. All of these benefits, better immunity, a healthier heart, stable blood sugar, a clearer mind, brighter mood, fewer falls, and easier weight management, add up to one profound truth. Seniors who sleep well tend to live not just longer, but better lives. Research from across the world shows that older adults who regularly get 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep have lower rates of chronic disease, greater independence, and a brighter outlook on life. In a very real way, every restful night is an investment in both the quantity and quality of the days still to come. But these aren't just numbers or abstract ideas. They are lived experiences, felt deeply by people every day. Let me tell you about Grace, a retired librarian from North Carolina, whose story might sound familiar. For years after she turned 70, Grace battled sleep problems. She chalked it up to age, to worries about her children and grandchildren, to aches in her knees and hips. Each night, she'd toss and turn, sometimes reading into the small hours just to distract herself from the frustration of not being able to drift off. Days became a struggle. She started skipping her morning walks and saying no to lunch dates with friends. Her doctor noticed her blood pressure creeping up and gently warned her about rising blood sugar. One afternoon, during a routine checkup, her doctor asked a simple question: "How have you been sleeping?" The conversation that followed changed everything. Instead of just accepting poor sleep as her new normal, Grace began to look at her nightly routine with fresh eyes. She cut back on caffeine after noon, made her bedroom a screen-free zone, and started winding down with gentle stretches and a bit of old-fashioned journaling before bed. She even allowed herself a short nap after lunch, never more than 20 minutes, but just enough to feel refreshed. Within a few weeks, Grace noticed a change. She woke up feeling less groggy and more herself. Her blood pressure readings improved. She found the energy to walk with her neighbor again, and her spirits lifted. Grace was still herself, still thoughtful, still caring, still wise, but now she had her spark back, the little joy that comes from living in a body that feels rested and whole. Grace's story is not unique. Across the country, thousands of older adults are rediscovering what it means to truly rest. Some find that their memory sharpens, others that their mood lightens, or their energy returns. All share a common thread. By valuing sleep, by tending to it as carefully as a garden, they find more days worth living and more life every day. So, if you've found yourself taking sleep for granted, or if you've quietly accepted restless nights as just another part of getting older, I encourage you to pause. Sleep is not a luxury or an afterthought. It is your body's most natural medicine, a gift that grows more precious with every passing year. Permit yourself to seek it, to protect it, and to enjoy the countless ways it rewards you in return. Tonight, when you pull up the covers and close your eyes, remember that each hour of good sleep is a promise kept to yourself, a promise of strength, clarity, resilience, and the chance for another bright tomorrow. Sleep well, and let the years ahead be filled not only with longevity but with all the vibrant health and happiness you deserve. For so many people over 70, the experience of waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning is an all too familiar reality. Maybe you lie there, staring at the ceiling, quietly hoping for sleep to come back, but instead, your mind starts to wander through memories or worries. Some nights, you might hear the distant tick of a clock, the hum of a refrigerator, or the gentle snoring of a partner who seems to have no trouble sleeping. As dawn approaches, you finally drift off, only to wake up groggy when it's time to start the day. If you've ever thought, this is just part of getting older, you're certainly not alone. Across America, millions of older adults struggle with restless nights and sleepy days, often accepting these changes as inevitable. But is this rust what happens with age? Do we have to simply accept that sleep will always be broken, shallow, and unfulfilling? Or could there be small, manageable steps that make a real difference? Let's take a closer look and challenge the old assumption that poor sleep is a fact of life after 70. The truth is, while sleep patterns do naturally change as we grow older, there are gentle, practical ways to improve the quality of our rest. Understanding why sleep becomes more elusive can help guide us toward solutions that fit comfortably into our lives, without requiring dramatic changes or expensive gadgets. As we age, our internal body clock, also known as the circadian rhythm, can shift, making us feel sleepy earlier in the evening and wake up earlier in the morning. The body produces less melatonin, the hormone that signals to our brain that it's time for rest, and spends less time in the deep, restorative stages of sleep. Medical issues, pain, frequent bathroom trips, and even some medications can further disrupt our nights. Anxiety, loneliness, or changes in daily routines after retirement can also leave the mind buzzing at night, even when the body feels tired. But here's the good news. By gently adjusting some daily habits and your sleep environment, you can help your body rediscover its natural rhythm and enjoy more refreshing sleep. The first and most powerful step is to keep a regular sleep schedule. This may sound simple, but it has a profound effect on how your body and mind prepare for sleep. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, yes, even on weekends, helps set your internal clock. Over time, this routine signals to your body when it's time to wind down and when it's time to greet the day. You might find it helpful to develop a gentle bedtime ritual. Perhaps a warm shower, a few pages of a favorite book, or listening to soft music. These simple cues tell your brain, it's time for rest now, making it easier to drift off and stay asleep. What you consume throughout the day, especially in the afternoon and evening, can also make a big difference. Caffeine, found in coffee, many teas, and chocolate, is a common culprit that sneaks into your system and lingers for hours. Even if you don't feel wired, caffeine can quietly disrupt your ability to fall asleep. Try limiting coffee and caffeinated tea to the morning, and switch to herbal teas or water after lunch. Alcohol and smoking might feel relaxing at first, but both can fragment your sleep and prevent you from reaching those deep, restorative stages. If you enjoy a glass of wine with dinner, try to finish it several hours before bedtime. And if you smoke, cutting back, especially in the evening, can help you sleep more soundly. Your sleep environment is another powerful ally in your quest for better rest. Think of your bedroom as a sanctuary, a retreat from the noise and stress of the world. A quiet, dark, and cool room sends a strong signal to your brain that it's time to sleep. Blackout curtains can block the early morning sun, while a small fan can offer gentle white noise and keep the air fresh. Invest in comfortable bedding and pillows that support your neck and back. Clutter-free surroundings, soothing colors, and treasured photos or mementos can make your bedroom a place you genuinely look forward to at the end of each day. There's another modern obstacle to restful sleep that's worth addressing: screens. The blue light from phones, tablets, and televisions can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime, making it much harder to wind down. Try to turn off screens at least an hour before bed. Instead, revisit old-fashioned pleasures, a crossword puzzle, knitting, journaling, or simply talking with a loved one. These activities not only soothe the mind, but they build a sense of comfort and connection, gently leading you towards sleep. Relaxation, though it sounds obvious, is a skill we sometimes forget to practice. Gentle techniques like meditation, deep breathing, or slow stretching can be wonderful tools to quiet a busy mind and release tension from the body. Before you climb into bed, take a few minutes to breathe deeply, focusing on the rise and fall of your chest. Let thoughts drift away with each exhale. If you're new to meditation, even 5 minutes can help. There are many free resources, audio tracks, simple guides, even community classes that can introduce you to these calming practices. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Naps can be a blessing or a curse, depending on how they're used. Keep daytime naps short. About 20 to 30 minutes is just enough to refresh you without making it harder to sleep at night. If you feel drowsy after lunch, find a comfortable chair and set a gentle alarm. A brief nap can lift your mood, boost your memory, and help you enjoy the rest of your day. But longer naps, especially in the late afternoon or evening, may leave you staring at the ceiling when you'd rather be resting. Physical movement, even in small doses, works wonders for sleep. Our bodies are designed to move, and light activity like walking, gentle yoga, or gardening not only strengthens muscles and bones but also helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. A stroll in the neighborhood park, a few stretches on the porch, or time spent tending flowers can leave you pleasantly tired, making sleep come more naturally. Morning or early afternoon is the best time for exercise. Save your evenings for winding down. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, sleep problems persist. Conditions like sleep apnea, where breathing briefly stops during the night, or chronic insomnia can significantly impact your health and quality of life. If you snore loudly, wake up gasping for air, or regularly feel exhausted during the day despite spending plenty of time in bed, it's important to talk to your doctor. Modern treatments, ranging from simple lifestyle adjustments to specialized equipment, can make a world of difference. And if medication side effects are keeping you awake, your healthcare provider may be able to adjust your prescriptions for better rest. Let me share a story that might resonate with you. Edna, a sprightly 77-year-old grandmother from Indiana, spent years struggling with sleep. She believed that waking several times a night and feeling tired every morning was simply her lot in life. After a particularly sleepless week, she mentioned her frustration to her doctor, who suggested a handful of small changes. Edna started going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, even when she didn't feel sleepy. She switched to herbal tea after lunchtime, made her bedroom darker and cooler, and replaced her late-night television routine with soft music and light reading. It wasn't magic, and it didn't happen overnight. But within a few weeks, Edna found herself falling asleep more quickly and waking up only once most nights. Her mood lifted, her energy returned, and she even started attending her church's morning yoga classes. Sleep, once a nightly struggle, became a gentle companion again. It's important to remember that there is no single right way to sleep well. The solutions that work for you may be a little different from what helps your friend or neighbor. The key is to approach sleep with patience, curiosity, and self-kindness. Try out 1 or 2 tips at a time, and notice how you feel. If something doesn't work for you, set it aside and try another gentle adjustment. Above all, don't be discouraged if progress is slow. Years of habits, worries, or medical challenges won't change in a single night. Celebrate small victories, falling asleep a little faster, waking up less often, or simply feeling more rested during the day. Each step you take is an investment in your health, independence, and the joy you find in everyday life. Let sleep be a gift you give yourself, not another chore on your to-do list. With each restful night, you're nurturing your mind, body, and spirit, opening the door to brighter mornings and more meaningful days. You deserve to wake up refreshed, move through your day with energy, and savor the moments that matter most. So tonight, as you settle in, remember that gentle, practical steps can lead to powerful changes. You are not alone on this journey. Across America, countless others are finding their path to better sleep, one small habit at a time. Rest easy, knowing you are caring for yourself in the most loving way possible. As we reach the end of this journey together, let's pause for a moment and reflect. Sleep, once so effortless and often taken for granted in our younger days, becomes both more precious and sometimes more elusive with age. But just because restful nights may feel harder to come by doesn't mean they are out of reach. Every gentle step you take, whether it's setting a regular bedtime, swapping coffee for calming tea, turning off the television a bit earlier, or simply taking a walk in the afternoon, brings you closer to the kind of restorative rest your body and spirit truly need. Remember, you are not alone on this path. Across the country, countless others share in the struggle and the hope for better sleep. There is no one-size-fits-all answer, and it's okay if progress feels slow or imperfect. What matters most is the kindness you show yourself and the patience you offer your own body as it adjusts to new rhythms and routines. Better sleep is not just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. With each peaceful night, you give yourself the energy, clarity, and emotional resilience to enjoy the little things. A walk with a friend, a good book, laughter around the dinner table, or the simple comfort of a sunrise. So tonight, as you tuck yourself in, remember, you deserve rest. You deserve to wake up refreshed, hopeful, and ready to greet another beautiful day. Permit yourself to care for your sleep, because it's one of the kindest gifts you can offer yourself at any age.